What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Just before we get into the video, don't forget to like or dislike the video, subscribe, turn on notifications and leave a comment down below. As promised, since the previous video reached 2,000 likes, we have part 2, and this time 20 wrestlers who were only featured once in a WWE video game. This time, hopefully with no mistakes. Again, we're still sticking to the rule of wrestlers only, and not individual gimmicks. Number 1. The Blue Meanie. Brian Heffron always found work thanks to his exotic look and terrific sense of humour. Meanie made his way into the WWF as part of Al Snow's Job Squad, and thereafter took on the gimmick of Blue Dust. In his appearance in WrestleMania 2000 on the N64, you have a choice of 3 outfits for him, including his Job Squad one. But unfortunately, his Blue Dust gimmick did not appear in the game. This is the one and only time Meanie has been featured in any wrestling video game. Number 2. Dr. Death. Those who were around for the Attitude Era may recall the WWF's ill-conceived Brawl for All tournament. This was where a number of WWF wrestlers would compete in legitimate shoot fights for a prize of $100,000. Dr. Death Steve Williams was the WWF's favourite to win the tournament, and according to Jim Cornette, Williams had already been paid the $100,000 prize money before his second round fight with Bart Gunn. In a massive upset, Williams was knocked out by Gunn, who went on to win the tournament, leaving Williams bringing little to no impact to the tournament and sustaining a hamstring injury in the process. This resulted in Williams missing several months of his contract, only to be released in 1999. Before his release, however, he was included in the WWF Attitude game for several platforms. This would be his first and only WWE video game appearance. Williams was however included in Acclaim's Legends of Wrestling 2 and their third installment, Showdown Legends of Wrestling, but neither of these games were endorsed by WWE, hence they don't count. Number 3. Sean O'Haire. Sean O'Haire was one of the shining stars that came out of the WCW buyout, and whilst his run with Chuck Palumbo as part of the Alliance was looked over, it was his run in 2003 that had fans taking notice of him. Now returning with the Devil's Advocate character, O'Haire would cut vignettes urging people to do wrong. The gimmick was fresh and O'Haire was perfect at playing it. Unfortunately, due to a motorcycle accident he suffered in November 2003, he was sent back to developmental and ultimately parted ways with the WWE. Before his release, O'Haire was included in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain as a playable wrestler. He does however possess an abysmal overall rating of 65. Number 4. George Steele. Like we mentioned in our previous video, SmackDown Here Comes the Pain was the first time in the series to feature a number of legends. While some needed to be purchased, a few could be selected straight away. WWE legend George the Animal Steele was one of those legends unlocked from the get-go. This is the only appearance that he made in a WWE video game, as unfortunately he wasn't included in the Legends of WrestleMania video game. Much like Dr. Death Steve Williams, Steele was included in all 3 of the Legends of Wrestling games. Number 5. Jerry Lynn. SmackDown Just Bring It was the first WWE SmackDown game to be released on new hardware, namely the PlayStation 2. It came with new and improved graphics, full entrances, and new playable wrestlers, including a rare appearance by Jerry Lynn. Lynn had a number of appearances in WWE in both the 80s and 90s, mostly as enhancement talent, but Lynn had a more significant run as light heavyweight champion in 2001. He was released before the 4th SmackDown game was released. Number 6. Ultimo Dragon. Ultimo Dragon is arguably one of the most innovative superstars in the last couple of decades, establishing a 3-year run in WCW, winning both Cruiserweight and World Television title on 2 occasions, leaving a memorable run, unlike his WWE run, which was mostly forgettable. In fact, many forget his first and only appearance in WWE video game SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. He did of course appear in WCW's Akai games on the Nintendo 64, but those were not owned by WWE at the time. Number 7. Vito. Having runs in both WCW and ECW, Vito finally joined the WWE in 2004 as part of the FBI, the full-blooded Italians. After the stable disbanded, Vito started a singles run and began cross-dressing, wearing a dress to his matches. He was included in SmackDown vs RAW 2007, and even though his gimmick was gaining much popularity, he did not sport a dress in the game and appeared as a heel. However, on his Titantron, you can clearly see him wearing the dress and he was a face. Number 8. Jamie Noble. Raw 2 was an Xbox exclusive and was thankfully a massive improvement over its first installment. New modes, new arenas and new wrestlers, including the one-time appearance of Jamie Noble. During this time, Noble was wrestling under his trailer trash gimmick. Noble would return to WWE as part of J&J Security, but he was not included in any of the games. Number 9. Shannon Moore. The Mattitude follower had some great skits with Matt Hardy version 1, dressing like him and more often used as a distraction for Matt Hardy to gain leverage over his opponents. Unfortunately, even though Moore branched out on his own, he never managed to capture the Cruiserweight Championship and was soon enough made jobber to the stars. His one and only appearance was in WWE Raw 2. Number 10. Kenzo Suzuki. Some may recall our video on original plans for WWE wrestlers and the idea of WWE using Japanese wrestler Kenzo Suzuki to portray Hirohito, the great-grandson of Japan's Emperor Hirohito. The idea could have unleashed a huge backlash from Japan, and luckily it never happened. Kenzo was instead brought in simply as a Japanese patriot who held anti-American views, but later turned into a karaoke act and then shortly after was released by WWE. Kenzo was in the highly acclaimed GameCube exclusive Day of Reckoning 2. Oddly, he was not featured in SmackDown vs RAW 2006, which released at the same time. Number 11. Rob Conway. Three-time tag team champion Rob Conway made his first and only WWE video game appearance in SmackDown vs RAW 2006. Conway, however, appears in his La Resistance attire and oddly has his music and video portraying his conman gimmick. He cannot be playable in the season mode as he didn't record any voiceovers for the game. Number 12. Paul Burchill. British-born Paul Burchill made a huge impact in the WWE with his pirate gimmick, something that was clearly inspired by Captain Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean films. It was this gimmick that made it into SmackDown vs RAW 2007. His entrance in the game emulates his entrance in real life, with him swinging down onto the arena stage. Number 13. Joey Mercury. One half of the tag team M&M, Mercury enjoyed tag team success with partner Johnny Nitro, holding the tag team titles 3 times. Mercury was a playable wrestler in SmackDown vs RAW 2007, and much like Jamie Noble, he did return as J&J Security, but he did not make any further appearances in any WWE video game. Number 14. Sabu. SmackDown vs RAW 2008 was the first time ECW wrestlers were featured in a WWE video game as a separate brand. The game featured a number of ECW-like additions, which included new weapons such as guitars, barbed wire bats, as well as tables that can be set alight. Not only this, but the game included a couple of ECW legends such as Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer, who have both been featured in at least one other WWE video game. This, however, was the first and only time we got the death-defying ECW legend, Sabu. Sabu wears his trademark Arabian headgear and has all of his signature moves implemented into the game. Since Sabu loathes the WWE, it's likely we will not see him being included in any future WWE video games. Number 15. The Sandman. Oddly, even though ECW original The Sandman was included in the same game as Sabu, he was not under the moniker of being an ECW legend. Sandman has appeared in 2 non-WWE video games, ECW Anarchy Rules and Backyard Wrestling 2, There Goes the Neighborhood. Number 16. Marcus Corvan. The alpha male certainly had better success in TNA than his WWE run. Brought in for ECW's revival show and joining the New Breed stable under the name Marcus Corvan, Corvan would be best remembered for his smooth entrance theme and devastating finisher, the Pounce. Corvan was included under the ECW brand on SmackDown vs RAW 2008. However, he would only just make it into the game as he would be released just days before the release of the game, making it too late to remove him. Number 17. Jimmy Wang Yang. Yang's cowboy gimmick served him well, and he had memorable tag team matches alongside Shannon Moore against WWE Tag Team Champions The Miz and John Morrison. Jimmy Wang Yang was included as a playable wrestler in SmackDown vs RAW 2009. Number 18. Bob Orton Jr. Second generation wrestler Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. was best known for his chronically broken arm. The cast that would protect his arm would serve Bob Orton Jr. in many ways, mostly to gain leverage over his opponents by using it as a weapon. Orton was included for the first time alongside his son in SmackDown vs RAW 2010. In order to unlock the WWE Hall of Famer, you needed to have completed Randy Orton's Road to WrestleMania scenario. Number 19. Alex Riley. When anybody mentions the name Alex Riley, it's normally followed by wasted talent. Riley, who started out as just the Miz's sidekick, eventually grew into a strong babyface, gaining more and more popularity by the week. However, rumors persist that John Cena was the real reason behind his demise in the WWE. With Riley's considerable run between 2011 to 2013, he was included in WWE 12. And number 20. Acts of Demolition. Thanks to an ongoing legal battle between WWE and Bill Eadie, also known as Axe from Demolition, we might not be able to see the legendary tag team in any other WWE video game other than their rare appearance in WWE 12 as legends. Some may recall the team of Demolition did appear in the arcade game WWF WrestleFest, but this consisted of only Smash and Crush, not the original team of Axe and Smash. Well guys, there you have it. 20 wrestlers who appeared only once in a WWE video game. Let us know what you think of the video down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.